Weirdos? I'm Felicia and I like scary movies, and I am back with another collab with my friend Lee from Horror Pals.
Hello!
So happy you're joining me. It's so funny, one of us will always text the other to be like, do you want to collab on this particular movie? And it's always like the exact one we need to collab on.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about a movie that just hit Shudder this week called Scare Me, and we're going to fully get into it, but I just want to say first of all, this movie was written, directed, and also stars this dude named Josh Rubin. And the fact that he did so much on this movie and it ended up being a total delight was just awesome to me. So I want to say, like, yay you.
Yeah, no, I agree. He did such a good job with this. And I mean, like, you know, whenever you're doing, like, all the writing and directing and shit for a movie, like, it's hard. So whenever somebody does it successfully, I'm like, yo, good job. Good job.
Absolutely. So I'm going to give you a little bit of plot. So it basically follows these two people, and there are a couple of other characters, but Fanny and Fred, they get stuck in this cabin together in the Catskills during a blackout. And in order to entertain each other, they decide to tell each other some very scary stories. Fanny is an accomplished horror writer. She has put out a book that was a big, big hit. And Fred is a struggling writer that has not been published, and he's not feeling great about it, I'll say. So, as I already said, Josh Rubin is playing Fred. Ava Cash is playing Fanny. And then we have another character that comes in, Carla, who is also just a delight, played by Chris Redd. And most of this entire movie is just people talking and telling stories with bits of sound design and little bits of other types of design woven through to create this like very spooky, fun atmosphere. And it is incredibly effective and super fun.
I 100% agree with you. I actually, like, I wrote in my notes when I was watching this, I was like, this movie is a giant f*** you to anybody who says that show don't tell is necessary.
Yes! Oh my god.
Like you know, movies that are you know, all tell, no show generally don't work. This is an exception to that rule.
Right?
This movie just only tells you things. But it does it in such a unique way that I think, at least for me as a writer, is very true to life of depicting the writing process.
Oh, interesting.
Which I don't know, I think it's awesome. Like, I want a fictionalized Aya Cash in my head pulling all my best ideas out of me all the time.
Oh, you have such a unique perspective, because I am not a writer, so I was not thinking in that way. But that's so funny that she actually is like playing also like a psychological part of a writer's brain.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's very like, because I mean, one thing this movie plays on is like the idea that there's no such thing as an original idea.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Like anymore, like nowadays, like, you know, everything has been done in some capacity or another. It's just about what you do with it. Mm-hmm. And tropes are cool and all, but if you're not doing anything unique with them, then you're not gonna get anywhere.
Yeah, or just like making them super exciting. Like, he's like using certain words and she's like, no, he wasn't like walking there, he was like creeping there. Like, it's
Yeah. And also, like, she's very much like her Aya Cash's character is very much in line with like what people want to read nowadays. So she's always trying to add depth to Fred's stories and like add, like, you know, more. Kyle, get down.
You tell that cat. I'm assuming it's a cat. If it's not a cat and it's a person, that would also be funny.
Twas a cat. But yeah, like, she's always like looking for like deeper motivation in the characters he's creating, and she's always pulling, like, you know, adding more depth to his stories. And I think that's really interesting, because like that's the kind of shit that I often try to do, and I just get so like in my own head that it doesn't work.
Yeah, and she's also trying to add like social context to things as
right,
well.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like themes are so important in writing nowadays. Like that, even if you know, if you have a decent theme, it doesn't matter what you're doing with your tropes. Like,
absolutely,
they can still be.
And going back to what you said about so many people are all about like show don't tell, And that's typically me. Like, I won't say the movie, but there was a movie back in Fantasia Film Fest that I reviewed that my biggest issue with it was that nothing happened. It was just people talking. And I complained a lot about it. It really bothered me in that movie. And
I know exactly
and you
what
loved
movie you're
that
talking
movie.
about. I did love that movie.
And it was just not for me. And so when I was going into this one, I was very worried it was going to be the exact same thing. But as soon as it started, I was so captivated. And the energy of the movie, everything about it was just like boom, boom, boom. And I was like sucked in. And I wanted to be there. I wanted to like be there with them.
Well, that's what I love about it. It's like, it's very much what happens when you get two horror writers in a room together.
Yeah.
Like you'll just, like when you just start brainstorming and riffing off each other, and that's just the entire movie,
Yes.
which I think is so cool.
And something that it's amazing to me that they were able to do is they had this super fun, over the top, very theatrical kind of acting and atmosphere going on in this one space with not a lot of stuff in it. Like, that's all great. And then they are still able by the end of the movie to create tension and horror, like actual scares, that made me as a viewer, like, I was like, oh my god, like I was having fun and now I'm like scared and unsettled. Like, they actually got me to so many places just with the talking.
Well, I think, no, I agree. I agree with that too. I think what makes this movie so, like, interesting is that, like, yeah, it's easy to do this in a movie where, like, the characters are friends with each other. But, like, what makes this movie interesting is that the characters, they're strangers.
That's such
like,
a good point.
They
Yeah.
don't know anything about each other outside of, like, you know, what they're telling each other.
Yeah.
So you don't even really know if, like, they're trustworthy or, like, if either one of them is safe with the other. It's
Yes.
very interesting.
And even with when Carlo comes in, like, he's like the pizza delivery dude. He just shows up and he's like excited about scary stories too, and he kind of gets in all the action, and immediately it's like they just create this atmosphere that I think also, because they have that third character come in, makes me as a viewer feel like I'm a part of it or something, where it's like, oh, like I could be there with them too. Like, it's not like a little like duo clique. It's like these are all strangers having this amazing experience. They're also like doing drugs. It's like the drug aspect of it, which could be perceived as like random or something, I thought was hilarious. Like, I think that was such a great add to it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, the humor in this movie is on point.
Yeah.
The humor in this movie is so funny. The opening scene where the lady's driving him to the cabin
Oh yeah.
and is just, like, super awkward and weird.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And, like, the bit that killed me was when, like, she drops him off at the house and he's just, like, not interested in even talking to her. And she's, like, still shouting at him from outside.
Yeah, absolutely. He's like, no, I'm just trying to like go in here and like be by myself and do my thing and like.
Do you go by Fred or Mr. Banks?
Yeah, so funny. I also want to give a shout out to Aya Cash, because I thought she was a star. I could not look away from her. Everything she did, she makes such big, strong choices. She's not afraid to be big. I loved everything she did in this movie.
She's very good with impersonations, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Her voices are really good, but, like, yeah, I mean, like I was saying to you before we started filming, like, I'm familiar with her mainly from, like, I saw an episode of You're the Worst that I know she's on that.
Oh, I haven't seen that either.
It's like a romantic, like, drama comedy show. But I mostly, and I feel like a lot of people will be familiar with her from The Boys, where she plays Stormfront, who is, you know, a superhero who happens to also be a Nazi. And it's a very different character from what she's playing on that show.
Yeah, I bet.
But at the same time, it's also really interesting because, like, I feel like all of the characters I've seen her play are, like, these fiercely strong, independent women who, like, are very no-nonsense and very, like, take no shit.
Yeah.
And she plays them with this very unique energy that's, like, very realistic to what I feel a lot of modern women are, like, not in terms of abrasiveness, but in terms of just, like, not being willing to take anyone's shit.
Yes, I love that. I've got to watch that show. I've had so many people tell me to watch it, and I just won't do it.
Well, I know you're not like a superhero fan, but like The Boys, I think you'd like because it's very. First of all, it's very very political in terms of like just everything it's saying, and it's the whole idea of the show is what if superheroes existed in our current capitalist society.
Yeah, which is such a great concept.
And it's gory as hell.
Wow.
And the writing's just great.
It's on Amazon? Is it an Amazon show?
It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon Prime, yeah. So if anyone hasn't watched that and wants to, watch The Boys.
Okay, is there anything else big that we wanted to mention about Scare Me? It's on Shudder now. You can go and watch it. And I overall just really loved it.
I kind of just really dug it. I don't really have anything particularly bad to say about it. I do think the pacing was like a little wonky at points, not only in the sense that like I don't think it needed to be an hour and 40 minutes long.
I can hear you on that.
But that's so minor. Like I don't care. I had so much fun with it.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
It's just a blast. And you can tell it's coming from people who just really love the genre and really like enjoy storytelling. So I dug that. I really had fun with it.
And it feels like such a good October watch. For sure.
Yes, definitely. It's a good way to kick off the month.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much stuff coming out. It's kind of
Oh
crazy.
my god, this is the most packed October I've ever seen.
Actually, wait, can I tell you? You might already know about it. There is a Twitter account that I just found this morning that literally every single day a horror movie is released, they tweet where to watch it. Do you know
What's the account? I do not know about it.
It's by I think the guy that runs Bloody Disgusting. Yes, okay, so it's called The Horror Calendar. Just at Horror Calendar. It's really helpful because especially yesterday, which was Friday, where like 100 horror movies came out yesterday, and the same is going to be every Friday of this month. There's like 1 million scheduled, so it's going to be
yeah, this is truly an insane month. Like I don't even know how we're going to like.
I know it. Cool. So do you want to tell everyone a little bit about what you're doing on your channel this month?
Sure, yeah. I mean, thank you. I appreciate that. So, for those who don't watch my channel, this month, every evening, I am putting on a different horror movie as part of an October horror movie watch. And those who are members of my Patreon will get access to my Discord server, where you can, pop in voice chat or text chat and watch the movie along with me if you have access to it, or you can just listen to me ramble and chat among other horror fans. I'm more overwhelmed because I agreed to do this every day on top of reviews that I'm also doing.
That's pretty crazy of you.
I'm gonna die this month, y'all. It's gonna be great. I'm really just trying to grow like Horror Pals into a whole community, so if any of y'all would like to join 31 Nights of Halloween or whatever we're calling it, I don't know. That's yours. That's your name, isn't it?
It's all the same. It's all the same. Everyone's has the same title, basically, with slightly different wording.
Okay. So if anyone wants to join that, check out my Patreon, please. I would really appreciate it. There's all sorts of cool stuff. And check out Felicia's Patreon. Join Girly Gore's Horror Club.
Yeah, I'm going to link all of Lee's stuff down below. His channel, Patreon, do it all. Now especially October is just the best time to do that because everyone is making so much extra content. Like October is the time to get in on all these Patreons.
I really feel like if I'm ever gonna grow my channel into something, I feel like this is the month to do it.
But this year in particular, because there's gonna be so much less October events to go to in person, it feels so much even more important to have this online community and like doing all this stuff together online because
definitely, especially with I think we all do right now. I mean, it's just been so crazy that I think we all need a sense of camaraderie.
Yes, absolutely. Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming to my channel and hanging out. And I guess we will talk to you all soon. Never know how to wrap it up. Have an ice cream.
I don't really either. Thank you again for having me. And yeah, goodbye, Internet.
Bye, Internet.